All right. So the purpose of this video is to help you to have a understanding of the computational artifact. So once you have decided what your computing innovation is that you're going to research and you're going to do your explore on, all right, the one thing that you need to create is a computational artifact. So part of your explore performance task is to complete a computational artifact. So sometimes people get confused here, but a computational artifact is anything created by a human using a computer. Okay, an artifact can be, but is not limited to, a program that you've written, an image that you've created, an audio clip that you've created, a video clip you've created, a presentation, or like a web page file. All right. For the Explore PT, the Explore performance task, the most common artifacts are either a compilation of images made with a Google Docs or slide or a video. All right. Now, when we say like a compilation of images or something like that, okay, we're talking about like a digital poster board. So if you're creating a poster board, all right, you want to show some images and things like that, but you don't want to show a lot of text. Okay, in the Explore description, it says not primarily textual. So, okay, here are some things to keep in mind when you're creating your artifact. The artifact must provide an illustration, representation, or explanation of the computing innovation's intended purpose, its function, or its effect. The artifact must not simply repeat the information supplied in the written responses. The artifact should be primarily non-textual, so it should be some pictures, maybe a couple words and things like that, but not some paragraphs of text. Okay. Documents or slides need to be converted to PDFs and cannot be more than 3 pages, okay? But one is the most common, 1 page, okay? Video files must be MP4, WMV, AVI, or MOV, and audio files must be MP3, AIF, or WAV formats, and all must be under 1 minute in length, okay? The system will not allow you to upload a video longer than 1 minute. All images, okay, that you use must be cited, including any that come from open sources. So when you Google or something and you find an image, then you need to cite where you got that image from, okay? The sources may be cited in your response to 2B or in 2E as a separate set of sources. Okay, so now we're going to go through 2 different examples, okay, of artifacts, okay? One of them that did earn the point for row 1 and one that did not. All right, so the first example is this. This is a great example of a digital poster board, okay? So they show here some images of different symbols for different kinds of digital currency, all right? Then they show an image that looks like a bunch of different computers connected, kind of like the internet, all right? And then here showing a lock, all right? And so this innovation is called blockchain, all right? And so this is meant to show uh, the purpose, function, or effect of blockchain. Now, if you look at this and you might think, well, I'm not totally sure what it does. Okay, the reader or the grader can also go to response 2A. My innovation is blockchain, which is designed to create a framework for online transactions that is more secure. Obviously, you see the lock. Blockchain functions as a series of computers called nodes. So you see that there. When one computer requests a transaction, each computer independently verifies the authenticity of the request using certain algorithms. Then, once all of the nodes verify the request's identity, the data about the request is added to a computerized ledger, creating another block in the chain. My artifact provides an illustration for each step in the process of how blockchain works. It also allows the reader to see the amount of data blockchain uses. All right. And so you can see, have they provided uh, an illustration representation of the purpose, function, or effect? Well, the answer is yes. Now, in 2B, in your written responses, you are also going to be writing about how you created it. So this person says, I used Google Slides to create my artifact. I gathered relevant images with an online search. I then made captions to explain my images and made a flowchart with the steps of how blockchain works. I included extra images to show where the data is stored. This is a new artifact as I gathered images and wrote the explanations myself. And then you can see here that they're citing the source of some of their work. All right, so now, okay, the explanation. This response earned the point for row 1. The computational artifact identifies the computing innovation, blockchain, right? It's titled, and illustrates a function of blockchain to verify your transactions and add data to a digital ledger. All right. So that is an example of uh, a computational artifact that earned the point. Okay, now remember, you can use your response to A to help explain what your artifact shows. Okay, now this is an example of one that did not earn the point. All right, so you can see here the title looks like it is the EQ radio. Okay, so now you see a lot of text here. All right, it says the wireless signals that are bounced off of the patient are primarily received as reflection signals, which contain both the heart rate and breathing rate. This reflection signal is separated into two parts: the heartbeat signal and the respiration signal. Some of the signals are bounced off the patient are transformed into respiration signals, which report the patient's breathing rate. Some of the signals that are bounced off of the patient are transformed into the heartbeat signals, which report the patient's heart rate. Accuracy 80% from wireless signals. All right, so you see this. So it's really not clear what the EQ radio is doing, but let's go ahead and read. It says, my computational artifact represents the EQ radio. The EQ radio is a device designed by MIT students to determine what kind of emotion someone is feeling, even if they are attempting to hide it. In my picture, the EQ radio can be seen bouncing wireless signals off of the patient's body and using reflected signals to deduce their heart rate, breathing patterns, and other factors that are symptomatic of certain emotions. Then it compares the data it has gathered on this patient with the data gathered around about other patients to fine tune its result to be more accurate. To create my computational artifact representing the EQ radio, I used a program, Microsoft Paint, on my school's computers. First, I took an image of the EQ radio that I had found on Google Images and copied it and pasted it into a blank canvas. Next, I found some images of signals the EQ radio uses and pasted those into the canvas as well. Then I drew arrows from each box to a text box where I explained how the signal contributes to the emotional reading. Finally, I used the pencil tool to draw signals bouncing off of the image of the person I found in Google Images. All right, so explanation of the point. So row 1, the response did not earn the point for this row. The computational artifact shows a feature of the EQ radio is it can separate the different signals, but it is not clear from the artifact that the EQ radio uses this information to determine someone's emotions, which is the function of the device. So you can see in 2A, they've talked about the purpose of this, but their artifact didn't actually show the purpose. All right, it just showed a feature of the innovation, which was to separate the signals into two different signals. All right, and so that is an example of a computational artifact that did not earn the point. All right. So remember, when you're writing your when you're creating your computational artifact, you are trying to illustrate the purpose, function, or effect of the computing innovation. All right. So hopefully this was helpful. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to send an email.